Lao Tzu was an ancient Chinese philosopher, widely regarded as the founder of Taoism. He's best known for writing the Tao Te Ching, a short, poetic text filled with some of the deepest spiritual insights ever written. The word Tao simply means the way. But not a rigid set of rules, not a straight road. It is the natural rhythm of the universe, the silent order that everything follows when it's not disturbed. Taoism invites us to live in tune with this rhythm, to trust, to become still. The moment we stop fighting the current, we start to notice something. We're already being carried where we need to go, but that's not how most of us live. At some point, we entered a race we never really chose. Chasing promotions, chasing status, chasing what everyone else seems to have, always trying to stay ahead, always afraid of falling behind. We call it the rat race, but truly, it's just endless running, never arriving. And the more we run, the more we disconnect from who we really are. In this video, we'll talk about how to leave this race and what it really means to move through life without forcing. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing less, but with clarity. Letting go of what weighs us down. And learning to flow with life so we finally not only arrive somewhere, but arrive as ourselves. 1. Recognize the illusion. Lao Tzu says, "Chase money and security, and your heart will never unclench." We grow up hearing this story. Study hard. Get good grades. Get into a good college. Find a stable job. Earn well. Buy a house. Start a family. Save for retirement. And at some point, you'll finally feel safe. You'll feel settled. You'll finally relax. It sounds logical. Comfortable, even. But this is where the illusion begins. It assumes that peace is something we earn after doing everything right, after the hustle, the grind, the milestones. It tells us that once we have enough, we'll finally feel enough. Think about your own life. You probably remember how hard you worked to land your first job that paid decently. Maybe it felt like the answer, as if you had finally made it. And then you adjusted. Your standard grew. The goals moved. Now maybe you earn double or triple what you did. But are you twice as at ease? Do you sleep better? Feel more at home in your own skin? This is the illusion Lao Tzu warned us about. We think we're chasing security, a sense of control, of being established. But often, what we're really feeding is anxiety. Promotions bring pressure. Raises bring more responsibility. Upgrades bring more things to maintain. Instead of resting in success, we live with that quiet tension. And now, what's next? We keep pushing, not out of greed, but because we've learned that peace always lives one step ahead. The system dangles it like a carrot, always in the future, always out of reach. The deeper truth is this: we don't really desire more money or status. We desire relief. We want to stop waking up with a knot in our stomach. We want to stop measuring our worth by what we deliver. But instead of questioning the system, we blame ourselves. We think we are the problem, that we lack focus, intelligence, discipline. So how do we begin to leave this cycle? It starts with a shift in perspective. Don't ask, "What is my dream job?" Ask, "What would my ideal day look like?" Not a dream vacation. Just a day you'd love to live again and again without burning out. Sit down with a notebook and write, what time would I wake up if money wasn't the main motivator? Would I walk, slowly make tea, stretch, breathe? Not because I have to, but because I want to. Would my morning be calm or rushed? Who would I spend time with if I wasn't performing or networking? What would I do that feels meaningful, even without applause or likes? And most of all, what energy would I carry? Calm? Focus? Freedom? This isn't being a dreamer. It's being honest. You may realize that what you truly value, time, space, connection, health, costs far less than the lifestyle you maintain just to keep up. Say you earn above average in a respected but exhausting job. You're always on, always tired, with little room to reflect or walk slowly. You live hoping the next raise will bring relief, but look back. Has any raise ever given you more presence? All it does is repeat the pattern, pushing the goalposts just a bit further ahead. Now imagine a different pace. You downshift. You simplify. You accept work that pays a little less but respects your rhythm. You wake without an alarm. You work fewer hours with more clarity. You read. You walk. You breathe. You feel awake again. The rat race trains you to trade your present for future peace. Taoism reminds us, peace begins now, when you stop chasing what you never truly needed. 2. Start to flow according to Lao Tzu. Practice non-doing and everything will fall into place. Most of us are tired. Not because we're lazy or undisciplined, but because we're always on. There's a constant low-pressure hum in the background. Perform. Stay ahead. Prove something. We wake up and the mind is already spinning. Emails, deadlines, messages, expectations. Even resting becomes just another checklist item. That's the rat race. And it's not only about work, it's the belief that if we stop pushing, we'll fall behind. So we're always planning, always comparing, always rushing to the next thing. And beneath all this motion, there's a quiet fear. If I stop, I'll lose control. If I let go, everything might fall apart. This is where Wu Wei comes in. In Taoism, Wu Wei means not forcing, and that doesn't mean doing nothing. It's acting without all the stress and struggle we've come to see as normal. It's flowing with life, not against it, like a river that curves around rocks or a tree that bends with the wind. You keep moving, but without straining or fighting every moment. It's knowing when to act and when to pause, when to speak and when silence is the wiser choice. It may sound idealistic until you try it. Try this for 1 week. Keep doing what you do, but drop the pressure. Let go of the idea that everything must be perfect. Do your work with attention, not obsession. Don't chase praise. Don't panic over outcomes. Just do the task and let it be. You'll notice that almost everything still gets done. Some things even get better. Because you stop overthinking and stop sprinting, your energy becomes more steady. You react less. You start working with yourself, not against yourself. The need to compete dissolves. You care less about keeping up and more about showing up. The rat race runs on force and fear. Wu Wei runs on trust, in yourself and in life. Leaving the race is choosing flow over fight. When you stop forcing, you create space for clarity, for peace, and for the life you were too busy to notice. Next time the urge to run harder appears, pause. Ask yourself, can I do this with less tension? Can I move with the current instead of against it? 3. Quiet the inner noise. In Lao Tzu's words, he who knows he has enough is rich. In the rat race, it always feels like we don't have enough. That's the trap. There's always a newer phone, a bigger house, a more expensive trip, something just out of reach. So we keep running, not because we truly need more, but because we've been taught that we should have more. That belief is what keeps us stuck. Most of us are not running from necessity. We're running from insecurity. We're not changing our life, we're changing our image. We don't just earn to live. We earn to feel important, to keep up, to feel safe. Here, Taoism offers something powerful. Contentment is not laziness, it's strength. When you realize you need less than you thought, the race starts to lose its charm. Try this simple practice. Look at your monthly spending. No guilt, just honesty. What do you truly need? Food, shelter, health, and real joy. Now look at what you spend, just to feel better or look better. Boredom shopping, stress buying, pressure to impress. Old subscriptions, clothes you barely wear, delivery that doesn't even bring pleasure. You don't have to drop everything at once. Start small. Cancel one thing. Skip one habit. Let go of one status purchase. Do this, and something begins to settle inside, a quiet you haven't felt in a long time. You start to see you're not trapped in the cycle of earning more just to maintain a life that doesn't reflect what matters to you. You realize you don't need to prove your worth through your title, salary, or possessions. When your life demands less, space opens up. Space for time, for simple joy, for the feeling of truly being here. 4. Let go of the finish line. Lao Tzu wrote, "Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner." We say we're chasing success. But if you look closely, it's not only about results, it's about recognition. We want the promotion, yes, but we also want it to be noticed. We want success, and we want it to be seen, praised, applauded. That need is what keeps us running. One achievement after another, never feeling done. In the rat race, there's no finish line, just more goals, more comparison, more noise. Taoism suggests another way, releasing attachment to outcomes. Not because outcomes don't matter, they do, but being obsessed with them drains your peace and steals the joy from the doing, turning everything into a means to an end. Think about your routine. How often do you create something? A report, a short video, a proposal? Not because you care, but because you hope it will blow up. Because you want likes, reactions, numbers. When your focus clings to the result, the whole process becomes tense, and you stop enjoying it. And when the result doesn't come, you collapse, frustrated, doubting yourself, exhausted. Now imagine doing the exact same work for a different reason. You still care. You still give your best. But you're not trying to prove anything. You're not gripping other people's reactions. You're present, focused, doing it well, because that, in itself, is meaningful. This is non-attachment. It isn't giving up. It's letting go of control over what you don't control. Outcomes, opinions, reactions. Do your work, but don't do it hunting for validation. Say what you need to say, and let go of how others will respond. Share your work, but stop tying your worth to applause. When you stop trying to arrive, you realize you were never behind. 5. Stop fighting who you are. As Lao Tzu says, the wise adapt like water. They find their shape by returning to their nature. In the rat race, we're constantly pushed to be who we're not. We're told to act like tireless entrepreneurs, to lead like loud extroverts, to grind like machines. Be more productive, more competitive, more like them. But the more we wear a life that isn't ours, the further we drift from ourselves. Something starts to crack. Not from weakness or lack of motivation, but from the exhaustion of pretending. Taoism points to another path. Don't force yourself into someone else's flow. Find your own. Look at your life honestly. Work, schedule, goals. Ask, what feels natural to me? Where do I feel most at ease, most myself? And on the other side, where am I forcing? Where am I wearing a mask just to keep up? Start there. Small adjustments change everything. If your work is all noise and pressure, protect blocks of deep, quiet focus. If you're asked to speak, sell, and perform all the time, protect your personal time and space. Set boundaries. Find a rhythm that supports your mind instead of burning it out. This doesn't mean quitting everything overnight. It means adjusting, firmly and intentionally. When you align with your nature, you stop wasting energy trying to be someone else. You stop performing. And you start feeling at home in your own skin. You don't need to get better at the rat race. You need to see it was never designed for you, and that it's okay to walk your own path. That's not weakness. It's self-respect. 6. Release comparison. Consider this from Lao Tzu. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Most of us aren't exhausted only from hard work, but from trying to keep up with everybody. You scroll your feed and see people doing more, earning more, traveling more. And without saying it out loud, you think, I'm behind. Behind what, exactly? Most of us never chose the race we entered. We were simply carried into it. School, job, promotion, marriage, house, kids, and so on, step by step. Not always because we wanted to, but because it was expected. At some point, we stopped asking, does this really make sense for me? Instead, we started measuring ourselves by how well we're keeping up. In a blink, life turns into performance. Taoism gently reminds us, your path is yours. You don't have to want what they want. You don't have to move at their pace. Your value is not defined by comparison. Do something simple. Notice what you feed your mind. What do you watch? Who do you follow? With whom do you silently compare yourself? If something repeatedly makes you feel like you're not enough, mute it. Unfollow the noise. Then fill that space with something real. Walk. Listen to music that makes you smile. Talk to people who don't care about status. Stay close to things that don't need to be posted to be meaningful. And remember that not everything valuable is loud. Not everything beautiful needs attention. The rat race survives on comparison. It keeps you running by convincing you that you're never there, that there's always someone ahead. The moment you step out of that game, you're free. You're not late. You're not failing. You're not behind. You're on your own tempo, your own direction. Exactly where you're meant to be. 7. Live closer to nature. In our final Lao Tzu quote in this video, he says, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The tree doesn't force its fruit. The clouds don't compete with the stars. The seasons don't ask permission to change. But we've drifted away from that rhythm. We live submerged in artificial urgency, notifications, deadlines, flashing lights. Always connected, always reachable, always on. And we start to believe that life is just like this. But it isn't. Taoism reminds us that when we lose connection with nature, we start to lose connection with ourselves. Because nature isn't only out there, it's in here. We are nature. We walk dressed in schedules and phones, trying to remember who we are, but we're still made of the same matter as the universe. You feel this when you slow down and listen to the wind, when you sit near trees and notice they're in no rush, yet they are fully alive. They grow, adapt, give, rest. They don't question their place. They simply are. Living closer to nature isn't just hiking once a week. It's remembering a forgotten tempo. It could look like waking with the sun, not the phone. Eating what grew from the earth, not only what came from a package. Sitting in silence for 10 minutes before the day begins. Watching the moon rise instead of one more video. Walking barefoot. No music, just listening. Small changes that reconnect. They remind your nervous system. It doesn't need to be on alert all the time. Life is already enough, if you simply slow down enough to feel it. If this video resonated with you, Dive into our playlist on philosophies for life. And to receive more content that blends ancient wisdom with practical happiness, subscribe now to the channel Top 5 Voices of Wisdom. Like, share with someone who needs lightness, and leave your comment. May this be the beginning of your return to the flow.